One of the main attractions of the Mini Challenge is the fact that it has two classes, the turbocharged JCWs and the entry-level clubs. To talk us through this in a little more detail are BTCC favourite Paul O'Neill and club driver Jono Brown. So Paul, why do you think the Mini Challenge is so competitive?
Yeah, it's very competitive. You know, I didn't expect anything else from the challenge itself. When I was asked to do it by Excelr8 Motorsport, I jumped at it because it's on the GP circuit as well. So I must admit, I didn't think I'd qualify third. I thought top six will do, but when they said you're third, it's grand. And we had a good old race yesterday, and boy, these boys, they do knock each other about a bit. So I stayed out of trouble, and I was fortunate enough to win.
I was going to say that. So how did that all come about?
When you've been in it as long as I have, and you've been doing it 12 years, and you can see what's going to happen, and I knew the guys. You know, I know the guys at the front are battling for the championship, so I knew there'd be a bit of needle between the both of them. As soon as the red lights went out, the needle started. Both of them were, you know, side by side, and they were giving each other just a bit of room. And then, yeah, as the laps went on, I thought I'll just hang back a touch because this looks. Oh, there it goes. And you know, to be honest, it looked like a gap for me. And Chris went down the inside, but then it was always going to be tight. And you know, the boys come together, and it's one of those things. And I just got past Chris and cracked on and just managed the tyres because the cars are turbocharged and very hard on front tyres. Managed them, and yeah, we come off with a good result. So it was just a great win for us.
Fantastic. So what are your impressions then of the John Cooper Works class, especially in comparison to your sort of like touring cars?
Yeah, you know, the power's a lot in the JCW. You know, through the front wheels, it's turbocharged. The new generation touring cars I'm used to are very powerful. They're quite heavy, same as these cars. They are very much like a small version of a touring car because they're turbocharged as well. So you're picking up a lot of tyre management, and that's where I come to the fore. I think I looked after my tyres in qualifying, I looked after them in the race, and you know, at the end I could push when Lee was starting to push on the back of me. So they're very comparable, and also they're just great cars. They're fantastic to drive, and a great formula for young kids coming through like Jono.
Just want to ask you actually about the handling and how it compares. You mentioned about the tyres.
Yeah, the tyres are a big thing in the cars. They're running on Pirelli tyres. It's the only times I've ever run on Pirelli tyres, but I'll be honest with you, they're a big step up from the tyres that were on the car last year. They're more consistent, but still you have to look after the tyres. If you start wheel spinning the car, which is easy to do without a differential, a mechanical differential that I'm used to in a British touring car, then you can wear the front tyres out. So you have to use your head, look after the tyres and crack on from there. But the handling of the cars, they're very oversteery, so that means the back end will twitch out if you need it to, and the cars at the same time are understeery, which is what a British touring car is like. So a bit more power and a bit more weight probably, and you'd have yourself a British touring car.
Now, with a change in BTCC regulations, how important do you think turbocharged saloon formulas become to feed young drivers towards that career in touring cars then?
Well, there's no other way of going racing. You've got to be on a single formula package to try and get the best out of your driver. You know, you've got to pick up the ways, the racecraft. The cars are very similar. British touring cars, they are very similar, with different boost levels sometimes, but you know, your Clio Cups, your Mini Challenges, your Clubman's Challenge as well that Jono's in. You can't just go and do British GTs and then come into saloon car racing. It's just never going to work because you're so tight and so close. You need to know how long your car is and where the gaps are and just how to race. You will never get any better racecraft than you'll see in Mini Challenge and the Clio Cups of this world and other championships like that. So it's vital. These championships have to be around, and if you want to race a British touring car, you've got to start at grassroots, and that's really here, to be honest.
Well, this is a good moment to bring in Jono, who's been waiting very patiently, because as well as racing this weekend, you've been doing a lot of coaching, and specifically with Jono, haven't you? Yeah,
unfortunately for Jono, I've been with him now on a few events, and he's probably one of the, and I'm not just saying it because he's here and his dad's around the corner and he's quite a big lad, but you know, he's one of the best young drivers I've seen, if I'm honest. He carries good momentum into the corners, he's got a good attitude, he's quite funny, he doesn't drink, which is good. So, you know, he's a great kid, and this guy's going to go far, as well, with his teammate as well, Gilbert. They're good guys, really good guys, so it's just nice to be involved with the next generation. These guys can definitely win in British touring cars in the next couple of years for sure.
Well, Jono, praise indeed there. How do you feel about those comments?
Well, thank you, Paul, for that. But yeah, it's been a great year. This year we picked up Paul, and you know, he's been fantastic with us. And I really enjoyed working with him. And yeah, my pace has really shown. So it's only my second year motorsport, so I'm still new to this. But yeah, it's just fantastic to be working with him, and he's such a great name in the motorsport industry, really.
Okay, enough of the back rubbing between you two. Jono, explain the difference, you personally, with the club class compared to sort of the JCWs.
To be fair, with the difference, I mean, it's visually you can see there's no spoilers, splitters, so downforce is quite a lot lower. But compared to the 220 brake horsepower and the JCWs, the Minis, the club class only have 135. So straight line speed and acceleration is the biggest difference, which, you know, is quite annoying on the long tracks. But you know, it's great because you can learn the technique a lot more about driving, rewards smoother driving, and you know, it's fantastic to be able to try and carry the speed through the corners because it's something that will help you further on in motorsport later on in your career.
I'm asking you this because you've actually tested for JCW, haven't you?
Yeah, I had a go in one a couple of weeks ago round here, in fact, and fantastic to drive. But to be fair, with this year being on the slicks on the club class for the first time ever, it was brilliant to be able to learn the racecraft, and I could really feel the handling characteristics, and so I was really confident when I jumped in straight away and I knew exactly what to do. And to be fair, the pace was there and I really enjoyed it, and yeah, next year maybe it's a step we can go to.
Well, definitely if you're driving like you have been. I've got to ask you, how accessible do you think the club class side of it makes the Mini Challenge as a championship?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, you can do track days and that, but this is just perfect because if you don't want to jump into a JCW and it's just a bit too far at your experience, it's brilliant to just be able to jump in one of these and just learn the racecraft, learn what it's all about, and you know, it's a great paddock, you can learn a lot from it, and like I say, it's just perfect for the middle step between the two. So you know, if you really want to get into something but you're not quite there, then just have a go in one of these, and it's fantastic to just be able to do that.
What about you, Paul, about the club class being there and being available?
The club class, for me, I don't think the championship would be as good as it is without the club class. You know, the kids coming through like Jono, I think the JCWs are very powerful, very, you know, good cars with slicks and everything, but there's got to be something before it, and club class offers that platform for the younger drivers, the guys without the driving licenses that, you know, can come into this and drive it. You know, they're not underpowered, but the speed that they can carry into the corners is the big thing. Like Jono said, the momentum into the corners is what it's all about. If you learn that in club class, go into JCW and all you need to do is know how fast to put the throttle on, and that is all it's about. Them guys in club class, believe me, they're very good. They're as good as anyone out there in JCW for sure.
It's more about, I suppose, learning the technicalities and really getting to grips with it, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, you can obviously, when jumping in the club class, it's you can learn how to carry the speed. Like I said, we've already been through the momentum, but there's so many little factors from chipping away lap times and to string a hot lap together. You know, you've really got to know what it's all about on the brakes and the tyres, you know, managing them, because obviously we're on slicks now. It's just, you know, obviously you're not going to overwork them. There's so many little factors that can come into it, and it's just brilliant to, you know, be able to learn that earlier on. So perhaps when you go into another championship like the JCWs and build your way up, you know, you're already there with halfway to gaining experience.
Well, listen, guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Really interesting stuff as well. What would you, a bit of advice for all young drivers out there from the pro, Paul? What would you say?
The pro? What about just from me? Always go out there, give it your best. Don't take your eye off the ball, and learn what you can off the people that you respect. But always smile, because you never know when it's going to end. So just keep pushing on.
Brilliant. Thank you.